Thank you to HUEL for sponsoring this video. More on them in just a bit.
Citizens and vigilantes of the Reject Nation, hello! Welcome back for Daredevil Born Again, Episode 3, Season 1. Sorry, y'all. What's going on? I'm Aaron. I'm here with the boys. We're back. Andrew's with us this time.
Hey, Andrew.
Woo, woo.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, man.
You're welcome.
Happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys.
Guys, let's start with how we're feeling going into this episode. Obviously, we saw the last two episodes with the three of us. We each had a array of different feelings going in. Let's see how we're feeling going into episode 3. Let's start with Greg. Greg, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good today. I did a lot to relax and emotionally process. It's weird how seeing a few comments can mess with the noggin. And but no, I'm back in tune with just wanting to be honest with my feelings. I rewatched the two episodes, liked it more, had a little bit of criticisms about some other stuff a little bit more. But you know, let's find. Just waiting to find out if these guys are alive. But some people apparently. Tribalism is killing media literacy, Coy.
Yeah, that's the episode title we didn't air.
I was like, I'm not replying to 99% of these because you guys clearly didn't. You stopped listening at a certain point when I was like, no, this actually has me excited to watch episode 3 now.
I don't care.
So I'm excited to watch episode 3.
Yeah. Coy, how you doing?
I enjoying things.
Yes.
And I am excited to enjoy this episode. I did not expect the reaction to the show that it got. We watched episode 1 and 2 without knowing the people because the episodes that we watched were the 2 that you all watched. This is the first time filming, obviously, because those episodes came out, and I was shocked at our experience of the show versus apparently the public's, but also the people that write on the internet are the people that write on the internet. So I'm very curious what episode 3 feels like. I'm very curious what the experience is for us. And I do, you know, Greg brought it up. It's interesting, our experience versus the people's, but also if that is actually the voice of the people. So I'd love to hear you, the people, in the comments what you thought of this episode. Do you feel like it's a better blend, where things are going? Because so far, this show has me ecstatic, and I'm still having a good time, so I cannot wait for more.
It's got a great audience score, and critic score is pretty high. And I don't know, what matters is just how we feel. And I love the first episode, and I liked the second episode.
Yeah. I can say I'm the same. Andrew, man, how are you doing coming into this for the first time with us?
I am doing well. It's been an interesting day. First of all, people in LA do not know how to drive with rain. Want to get that out there. We are a great city, but we suck at driving in the rain. It was extremely... I was going to say foggy. Rest in peace. Foggy and steamy in my in the bathroom when I got out of the shower. So I was kind of combing my hair blindly. But you know, you always hope for the best when you can't see. But I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I definitely, like Greg, I enjoyed the first episode more than the second. But rewatching them, I did enjoy them a little bit more. Picked up on some nuances and some more stuff, like you always do when you watch stuff a second time. So I'm really looking forward to continuing. So far, I like the addition of the new characters. I am definitely missing some of the old characters for sure. Mahoney.
Where's Turk?
Turk, where is Turk?
He's my favorite.
By far
United us.
The best. But yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing episode 3. Let's get it going, guys.
How are you, Aaron?
I'm doing all right today, guys. I'm a little bloated, a little tired, but that's okay. I'm ready. I watched the previous episodes like you guys did as well, and I am excited. I literally watched episode 2 right before coming over here, so getting a little bit more of the dialogue, because obviously what we do here is very much a balancing act between commentary and viewing, and we didn't have subtitles as we're watching it, so I'm like listening. So yeah, I was able to get a little bit more of the nuance and details, and yeah, I'm still very much gung-ho about this show. I'm excited to see what they do and see if those guys are alive, because it definitely seemed like they killed.
I can't wait to see if they're alive. Yeah.
If they are dead, I think that's interesting, but if they're not, it's okay. You know, God's given Matt a lot of chances to not sell his soul to the devil. So, guys, leave a like, leave a comment on this video. And if you want to get super hot and super sexy in Hell's Kitchen, you want to go over to Patreon, where you can watch the full-length thing with the boys here. You can also do exclusive things over there with Greg and John, where you can sync up with your own copy. And all kinds of things. I
don't think Aaron knows what the Patreon is.
That was very
sort of access.
I was going to say,
You can watch the whole thing, and Greg and John do exclusive stuff to you.
Or to each other?
They say these are the talking points, right?
Aaron sold me. I might just need to follow Patreon
I think we're all
now.
going to be patrons soon.
Who knows what
my
you're gonna
God.
get over there?
Greg,
All kind of stuff gonna
Aaron,
happen.
there's a shirt, isn't there?
There's a shirt too, guys. Boom! Hallway Hazard, made by my artist Joanne. Give her the praise. She's awesome. This shirt is now available on rejectnationshop.com. We look forward to wearing it for you guys in the future. But without further ado, we're going to get into this episode. Guys, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's rock and roll.
You don't want to do this.
I wonder what's written on the skull there.
You don't want to make Matt angry.
They reduced the sound design of the Nick.
Perhaps they're less dead now in episode 3.
She did a primal scream like Wilson Fisk does.
Maybe these are new pairs of glasses.
All right, we're just cutting to the next. I guess they're not dead.
Luquillo is a beach near where I'm from in Puerto Rico. To me, it's the most beautiful place on earth. White sand, palm trees.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
That's where you should take Heather.
This little tree frog doesn't croak. It sings its name. Man, it's a magical sound. And the coquí, it mates for life.
As the music comes in.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's smart to connect us to him before whatever happens next. So we haven't spent a lot of time with him.
And I like how the light's reflecting, too, off his face.
You're going to see that beach again, Hector. I promise.
I hope he does.
And you'll be reunited with your family.
It's a big promise, Matt.
A lot of people making promises in this show.
He's a good attorney. I trust him. I believe in Matt Murdock.
Are you saying he's a very good lawyer?
I think.
Spider-Man No Way Home reference. Did I just say a reference that Andrew did not?
You are the other half of the geek. You're the other half of the geek checks. Okay, give yourself credit.
It was a moment. It's a one of one so far.
I haven't. To be fair, I have not watched No Way Home in a very long time. But you got me there. Good for you.
I trust his promise is going to get him to Puerto Rico as much as I trust Fisk is not going to kill Adam.
Yep. His promise is
Adam is definitely safe.
He's definitely not going to do that by the end of the season.
What if they get into an open relationship?
Fisk seems so flexible.
Yeah.
He's a very patient man.
Definitely.
I've never
He's just
seen
going
that
to
name before.
openly smash them in front of her.
See that David Feige name? I've never seen that name before.
His brother or
Co-executive.
something,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
The credits are moving a little fast.
There's a lot of names in the credits.
That is, that part too.
Well, Eldon's name was in the first episode. It's not in this one.
Oh.
Not a good sign.
catch.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
I don't think it worked out well for him.
I like how in the intro you can see it as buildings, but you can also see it as blood falling as well.
Yeah, I really like the new design to Born Again, feeling different but similar.
The harbor.
This is where Turk usually hangs out. Give me my Turk.
Yeah. Maybe he's in
the
Harlem.
arms dealer, snitchy
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
I love that dude. He's in all the original shows.
Yeah.
He was like our Nick Fury.
No, for real. Him and Claire Temple.
And Rosario, yeah.
Be cool. It's a gimme. No one plays cowboy.
This feels like a scene a season 1 Daredevil would have showed up to.
Couldn't trouble you for the keys to this fine vehicle, could I? Thank you very much.
Hey, representation.
Yeah, as a criminal.
I mean, Frank did take a bunch of them out in season 2, so.
The Irish are always seen in high regard in New York City.
You know whose truck this is? Oh,
It's Fisk's truck?
are you a hard man, are you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you don't even show the gun.
Oh! Wow.
Yeah.
These interstitials are so good for exposition.
Somebody invades my privacy.
I love
no
this.
problem taking my piece.
I just don't understand why she's using such an old camera.
Good versus evil, evil versus evil.
Might
good
be
versus
her.
Good.
Might be her uncle's camera.
You want answers from me? I don't have them.
It really makes the city feel alive. It is very cool.
Hey, it's the same shot from
Back to
episode
the
1.
omelet.
Yes.
No more cheesesteak.
He's eating his food. That diet he's on is strong.
Look at that distance. Should be filled with children.
I know that it hurts to just sit by, but I'm reaching for higher goals.
They never really got a chance to be a married couple, did they?
Ever.
No.
Last night there was a double homicide not half a mile from the port.
Make the appropriate calls and inspire Chief Gallo to make it a priority.
Inspire.
Yeah. I love that he still speaks in his old way, but she interprets it differently. Like that could easily be a threat, but she won't see it that way.
Of course.
They're rats at the bottom of the barrel. Let them kill each other.
When they're done with each other, whoever is left standing will come after you.
This is my favorite scene between them so far in this show.
That world, that kind of violence, petty blood feuds, None of it is our concern.
He's really trying.
Well, but she's also got her way of doing business now. It's like she controls the territory now.
Yeah.
So they're going to be at odds. What has he been doing, man? These knuckles fistos.
We've been hidden.
I like how they are treating Kingpin like a true co-star, like it's a parallel journey between the two of them.
And we spend as much time like we should.
Oh,
that's nice.
Yeah, they've both been in some stuff they're not meant to be in or trying not to be in.
That was such a strength of the Netflix show, is them being so similar, and I'm glad.
Well, they're doubling down in this show, yeah.
This season.
Yeah.
Two sides of the same coin.
You know, you don't need those glasses and doors, right?
I'm sorry, are you talking to me? Who's there?
You talking to me?
Oh, so he did survive.
You're a blind lawyer who can fight.
Officer Powell.
There's your answer, Greg.
No neck brace?
No, I mean, it's a net or Marvel show.
Witness tampering is a serious offense. Now maybe you get lucky and the DA only slaps you with a misdemeanor, but I doubt it.
How's this guy not injured?
He's got some marks on his face.
It's like Jigsaw in Punisher season 2.
Yeah, he's like, you're carved out. Oh! And using that word, yes. Oh, it's, like I talked about in the last episode, iconography and language, guys.
I'm enjoying the pace of this one quite a bit.
This feels more like the first episode to me.
It has a more confident patience about it.
Yeah, letting these conversations breathe.
Yeah.
They're interesting.
He says it relaxes him or whatever. That's what this is for.
Oh, interesting.
Cherry Cola. Back, man. Fine.
Wow, he's willing to go far.
Is it?
Come on, man. First of all, it's not a party. I'm not your man. And this is just for me to get you on the stand without sweating and puking.
Oh, that's why when he asked Matt, how far do you want me to go or something like that, a couple episodes ago, this is what he meant. Like, he's willing to do dirty shit.
We didn't see any action until we got down to the platform on 168th.
What happened there?
What's the story going to be?
Yeah.
You know, places like a ghost town. The defendant, he just came out of nowhere. He had this wild look in his eyes.
Are there not cameras down there? Like footage?
It's a lot of subway. I don't know.
When you're a cop long enough, you know what that look means, and he starts running towards us.
Oh, his wife is there.
I feel Kel pull him off me. Next thing I know, the guy just takes Kel and he just pushes him in front of the train.
Oh, come on, man. I'd be so hot.
Yeah.
Objection. Leading.
Sustained.
I like Matt being so laissez-faire because he has to be.
Nah, for real.
We were partners for 8 years. You know, that's 8 years of beers and kids and
illegal
just
money.
Talking about how shitty the Knicks are.
Matt should say to him, are you aware perjury is a crime?
Kel Shanahan was my best
I don't
friend.
think it would help much.
That's all over now.
I know that was a Ben Affleck reference.
All right, let's see the cross-examination. See Matt in his zone.
I'm told you have a black eye. There's this thing they say in boxing, the best cure for a black eye is fast hands.
That's so passive aggressive. It's hilarious. So petty.
He's pressing him like he pressed his client.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to make sure we're saying the same thing here. By alone, you mean just the two of you, no one else.
That's right.
There's no
Oh.
passenger waiting for a train.
Pulling that witness.
Which means there certainly wasn't a confidential informant you were roughing up.
Objection.
You better have a good faith basis for this, Mr. Murdock.
I do.
Bring him in.
Officer Powell, let's try this. You ever met a man named Nicky Torres?
I've heard of him.
It's curious, because as I understand it, Nicky Torres is a confidential informant. Used to work with the NYPD. In fact, used to work with you and Officer Shanahan directly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Officer Powell, did you and Officer Shanahan have an arranged meeting with Nicky Torres on the platform that night?
This is so good.
Yeah, we didn't get this kind of stuff from the OG.
I told you I don't know him.
Yeah, you did say that.
I mean, those records, right?
Yeah, he did say that.
Are we going to wait to bring Nikki in, like, build to it?
Oh, another point.
So a lot of cops just openly have the Punisher on their body.
It's spray painted, it's tatted, yeah.
Should I be worried?
Yep.
You promised I'd be safe.
You'll be fine if you stay out of sight. Come on, let's go.
Good.
Dude, they should have given him a face mask.
Because of his position, I think having him be a new investigator character to replace Karen is justified. Because he has pull that she wouldn't have.
I feel like he's a stand-in for Urich in a lot of ways, too.
What happened to the other partner? A, B. I'm really digging this episode a lot.
Yeah.
No, this is good.
I really like this one a lot.
I'm wondering if the other partners, the other guy's competent, like how it goes wrong.
Supreme Court, State of New York, Part 20 is in session. The Honorable Fitzgerald Cooper presiding.
Oh, the ticking clock is so good.
The actor who plays the judge is Andrew Polk. He played Monty in season 1, episode 7 of Punisher.
I think the creatives behind this took some Nolan inspiration.
I mean,
For
the
sure.
sound design sounds like
the
Zimmer
sound
in the
design,
courtroom
the
scene.
music, the
Yeah.
editing
Yeah.
style, the camera work.
Some of the framing, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Man.
Still, be wary. Dude.
Yeah, I think the only time the courtroom drama stuff's been this compelling was the trial of Frank Castle in
Mr.
season
Murdock,
2.
call your witness.
Oh, no.
Just another second, Your Honor.
This is like when Nadeem was being transported.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Jesus, what?
Get out of the van, asshole.
Drive over that motorcycle. Just go.
Well, you just left the trial to go stop the truck?
There's a mislead. Yay.
Yes!
Good. Yeah.
They learned from season 3.
This definitely feels Nolan-esque. I feel what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's so suspenseful. I love it.
No, the editing style and the music combining with it is like, this is exactly how Nolan would do it.
My heart was racing.
Yeah, that was a great mid-episode arc.
Would you state your name for the record? My name's Nicky Torres. Where do you live, Mr. Torres? Washington Heights.
He does that so sexy.
Yep. Effective.
So smooth, a lot of practice.
I told the cops I'd help them out sometimes. And by help out, you mean become a confidential informant.
It's got to spell it out so it's on the record.
Mr. Torres, is that what you were doing on the night of New Year's Eve? Were you passing along information to Officers Shanahan and Powell?
Say it. Say it.
Oh, that's a lot of cops.
That's a lot of cops. A lot of Punisher tattoos out there.
All those eyes on him.
Oh, no.
Is he got
Oh, shit.
Remembering you're under oath.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he can read you because he can hear your heartbeat.
It's
home all night.
Oh.
Hector Ayala intervened to save your life.
Objection.
With great risk, put himself in
Objection.
harm's way, didn't he?
Isn't that true? Counsel, stand down.
This is why you need to become Daredevil.
Oof. That's a blow.
That's why he needs to get Punisher in to play Jesus to his disciples. Be like, this ain't the way, guys.
Long-haired Jon Bernthal. So does Torres just get offed now? Like, how long is he for this world?
I know, dude. What did you think would happen?
You're already
You're about
lost.
to die, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he already didn't betray him, so maybe they let him live.
Still liability.
Truck hijackings, violence at the docks, gang war. These are the headlines splashed across the front page of the Examiner.
Do not embarrass the mayor.
This is what you owe Victor. Restitution.
This guy's totally the new Wesley.
Piece of paper can definitely sway a man.
How about I pay $0 to Victor, and you go tell Fisk if he's got something to say to me, he can come tell me himself. I don't take orders from the mayor's errand boy.
Oh?
I don't work for the mayor. I work for the man.
So what do we have without Nicky?
Our entire defense just got flushed down the toilet.
Some kind of CI registration form or a...
No, they would have disposed
They
of
would
that.
have burned that right away.
I'm sure if there is footage, they already got to that, too.
He tells his side of the story, the truth. And we hope the jury see him the way we do.
I don't think it's going to happen, man.
Yeah, dude.
That's a lot of faith in the jury.
Hail Mary.
I sent Buck to Luca to tell him to pay Victor 1.8 restitution for the hijacking.
She's the man.
Let's not fall into a place where I don't trust you.
Wow. That's crazy. I never thought I'd hear Wilson Fisk say that to Vanessa.
I don't like watching everything fall apart.
And it sucks that you're in this position because you made her that way. You brought her into the fold.
Is that what it is? Chaos before a stronger peace? Or is it my penance for what I did?
No.
You're punishing me for acting.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
This is what you guys got to talk about. You got to have like a Sopranos couples therapy.
This is exactly why you're here.
With Daredevil's new girlfriend.
No. Where were we?
If Fisk knows, I don't understand his play by giving his vulnerabilities
To
Daredevil,
her with, yeah.
to Daredevil's girl.
But how would he
Yeah.
not know?
My wife and I, we live with my sister and my niece.
Aww.
We've always dreamt of having our own place, and I had finally saved up the money.
Aww.
Oh.
I put a deposit down on a studio in the South Bronx.
Oh, damn.
Oh, she didn't know.
First time hearing this.
I was going there to put the flowers there for the next day.
Wow.
And then everything just happened so fast. I tried to break it up, then they start beating on me. And
I think he's going to mention his white tiger.
Same.
Yeah. The
It's
guy's
going to open a big can of worms in a second.
Yeah.
You're going to violate the
Agreed.
agreement.
Could have just walked away, ignored the problem.
He sees his case slipping and he's going to get desperate in 2 seconds.
Wasn't the first time, was it?
Matt's going to do it?
Put yourself in harm's way before.
Oh?
Oh, Matt's setting it up.
Matt, how dare you?
You intervened that night because you're a hero.
Matt, don't do this.
Whoa! That's crazy!
Whoa!
That's messed up, bro. That's crazy.
I think
violating his own thing.
Well, he's going anti-Fisk way, which is showing
the people on the side of the hero.
The side of the hero. Yeah, the vigilantes are heroes.
Going against the judge directly, but
you know they just put him in so much danger if you get him out.
But he's going to life if
he's in danger regardless.
They're not even feeding him.
Reject Nation, I currently am on a very specific macro plan. Calories, fat, carbs, protein, you know the goods. And what's very fortunate for me, some of the brands that we have partnered with recently are products that I've already been using. So throughout this journey, I want to keep you guys updated on my health and fitness goals. January 25th, I was 218 pounds. At the time of filming this one, just under 198. A little lighter than the last time I mentioned today's sponsor, HUEL, baby. That's right. I already tore it open because I just had one earlier today. This is my own order. This is I paid with my own money because I love the product. It's been one of my go-to drinks on this journey. And HUEL's Black Edition rated drink is a complete meal in a bottle. It's packed with 35 grams of protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals, so you're not just filling up, you're fueling up, as we like to say. And here's why I keep coming back to it. It's freaking efficient. It's ready. Just grab it, drink it, donezo. It actually tastes great. That's so important. A lot of protein shakes look good, but taste bad. This one, smooth, delicious, and no chalky aftertaste. It's got low sugar, high protein, good macros. Fits into my plan without ruining any of my progress. And the other thing, too, is I got more flavors than ever. Chocolate, vanilla, iced coffee, strawberry banana, which is what my wife Olivia loves to drink. Or if you can't decide, you just grab a variety box. That's an option, too. It's affordable. Each bottle is under $5. Make it an easy choice for anyone looking for a quick, nutritious meal. And if you want to give it a go like myself, here's the deal. You go to HUEL.com, use my code REJECTS, and get 15% off your first order, plus a free gift. That's HUEL.com, code REJECTS. Fuel your body right, even on the go. Hopefully, you love it just as much as I do.
You have the nerve to stand up and make a mockery of my courtroom.
And it was beautiful.
What happened to all that lofty rhetoric about unfairly biasing the jury?
Hector's alter ego is critical to this case. What he's done as the White Tiger speaks his strength.
My man! I love him so much. He's great. So good.
We can declare a mistrial, but it's out already, so I'd say that ship has sailed.
Way to go, Matt.
You blew open this door, Mr. Murdock, which means...
Yeah, it's open season on my client. I get it.
He had no choice. I mean, they were done.
You're not going to be able to stumble into traffic court without one of them up your ass. I hope it was worth it.
Bro, this stuff is so good. If we never saw him in the suit, like, I'm not mad.
It's a great cop lawyer show.
No, seriously.
Give him a fair try, which I don't think he's going to get it.
Love seeing the voice of the city, man.
And I love that it's always such different people giving different perspectives.
100%.
It feels like New York.
You should have asked.
You got to tell him your secret now.
I know.
I like the contrast in their conversations now in the prison cell from the last scene.
I'm trying to keep you out of prison, buddy. We were losing. I had to take a big swing.
But then it's open season. There's no winning.
Acquitted. Your White Tiger days are over. You can't ever put that
Let's put a different mask on.
I wish we got to see time with him as White Tiger, though.
Being the White Tiger is more than just putting on a suit.
If anyone understands.
Yeah, it's interesting how this is going to register for him. Retired Daredevil.
If you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't wear it at all.
That's a No Way Home reference. But a Homecoming reference.
You chose me. Man. Might as well ask me to stop breathing.
You have to think about your family now. They need you. And for what it's worth, I think you might be surprised at how much you don't miss being him.
Projection.
I think this entire case is a projection. Even the unveiling and trying to get people on the board of White Tiger.
Engine caught on fire. I tried to open the door, but it was stuck.
And White Tiger saved them?
I think all character witnesses to White Tiger now.
Toward us. He was White Tiger.
And now Matt gets to see what vigilantes are like to the people of New York, inspiring him to come back.
I like that they're doing a conversation about what vigilantism is in the MCU.
Yeah.
This guy, he tries to grab me.
I love this music with it,
Then
too.
I saw he had a knife.
I love that he's getting his flowers to his face.
Yeah.
It's very hopeful and inspiring music.
He intervened.
Wow, I love this.
Off me, then helped me subdue and arrest the suspect.
Time to get White Tiger tattoos, guys.
Officer Reyes, Officer Wong, Officer Morales.
Officer Wong?
Oh, man.
So a different version of the same story.
Oh, it's so good.
I think many of the people in this room would consider White Tiger to be an ally.
Cop nod.
Now y'all are conflicted.
Why would you risk your life by running toward a burning car to save strangers?
It's the right thing to do.
What about Gianna Moreno? You again put yourself in harm's way. Why?
It's the right thing to do.
Was in trouble. You ran in when others would have run out. Why?
It's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do.
Let's make a shirt of it, Aaron.
Police said Hector attacked them, that he came out of nowhere. Why would he do this without the amulet? It gives him extraordinary strength.
So smart.
So good.
He is a man of integrity. The community says so. The
Police.
The mask doesn't make the man. And whether Hector Ayala is wearing a white tiger suit or not, he's a hero.
Oh my God, you just saved his marriage too.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I love how this is the authentic version of what he tried to do with Frank in season 2.
Yeah.
Hector Ayala might have done some good things. Does that make him incapable of doing a bad thing? Of course not.
It's a smart offense.
Do you know what happens to a person when they get hit by a train?
The same thing that happens to everything else.
You don't actually die until they back the train up, and then your body, it just bursts. And that is exactly what happened to Officer Shanahan when Hector Ayala pushed him. But we're supposed to be okay with that, right?
Emotional appeal.
Oh, that one white lady.
These brave men and women show up to serve the people of this city, to serve you, to serve me. And they do all that without a mask.
It begins.
Oof.
Because the last time I checked, real heroes don't need
Wait
to
a minute.
hide.
In the beginning of the show, Cherry was saying that the new heroes are the police, are the vigilantes, not the police officers.
And now it's being inverted in this courtroom.
And this is what Wilson Fisk is fighting for. Welcome to your new church, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels like a church now.
The pews.
Also, that was the strongest courtroom stuff we've gotten in all of Daredevil. That was crazy.
We need Melvin to get him a new suit.
I just love that he carries a piece of his past with him.
Carries
and,
Foggy with him everywhere he goes.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Oof. I'm so nervous right now.
Yeah, I really have no expectation here.
On the count of murder in the first degree, the jury finds the defendant not guilty.
Oh my God. Let's go! I was trying to prepare myself.
On the count of murder in the second degree, the jury finds the defendant not guilty.
Oh my God! I was prepared. My cynicism came out.
Count of manslaughter in the first degree, the jury finds the defendant.
Look at that reaction.
Let's go.
Wow. I really didn't know what to expect there.
Yeah, that was incredible.
I was like, shit, he's going to go to jail. He's going to be bumming a bullseye.
Man, that was good television.
Yeah.
Not knowing. I actually didn't know.
It's an episode of Law and Order they just gave us.
You're free to go.
That was great. Thank you. That was great.
I mean, I would keep one eye over your shoulder.
At all times. I'd get out of New York.
I would move back to his hometown. Might be the safest.
Just go to Puerto Rico, straight from the courtroom.
Move to that beach.
I feel like he's going to get shot or something.
So worried about him.
Yeah.
Grateful that justice was served, everyone. There's no further comment at this stage.
Oh, Fisk is watching.
That was a great transition.
Yeah, it was beautiful to pull out. Oh, there it is.
You're up to your old ways, Matthew.
Vigilantism will not be tolerated.
Your friend, the journalist BB, tell her I want to see her again.
But I wonder if BB's ever going to find out about what really happened to her uncle.
Sure.
My old partner and I, we were so broke, we pulled about everything we had together for an office bottle of Melvinese.
Melvinese?
Only broke it open when we won.
Oh, he's going to share it with her.
You're talking about your friend Foggy Nelson, right?
Oh, the pain.
Oh, she's going to try to therapize us.
Sir, a court and a jury found him not guilty.
Courts fail. Juries get it wrong. I should know.
Oh.
Better end up the NYPD lies dead.
Yeah, of course he's going to suit back up. He can't
What?
not.
So quickly.
Oh, my God.
It's who he is.
I know, but...
Yeah, but everyone knows who he is, so...
These vigilantes, they are not heroes.
What is about to happen? Sounds like a trap.
I ran on a promise, and the acquittal of Hector Ayala demands that I keep it.
There it is.
Oh, my God.
Jesus, fuck.
We never even got to...
Was it the cop?
skull, isn't it?
Oh,
Yo.
oh,
I don't think it's Frank.
No, it's a cop.
No way it's Frank.
Oh, silence. No fun music like the last two.
which was the Vines, not Jet.
Oh.
By the way.
Post credit.
Oh, the frog.
It's his music.
Yeah, the bird. It's the bird, right?
The beach. Yeah.
Dang, I hope they at least got to move into the apartment. She has all the bills and stuff. Just it's all just bad around, all around.
I don't know White Tiger well enough to know. Could he survive something like that?
No, that man's dead.
Very dead man.
I mean, hey, look, we're in the Marvel Netflix universe.
That's true, he'll survive.
Frank survived a headshot. Madani survived a headshot.
But it looked like he went all the way through and out.
In the comics,
You
his
never know.
niece takes on the mantle of White Tiger, and we did have her name dropped in the episode. So White Tiger may live on. I don't think he did.
Yeah, I
The mantle is now her, and she's been the White Tiger for years.
Oh, okay.
So, you know.
I think she was White Tiger in that Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon.
She's been White Tiger longer than he was, like, as far as, like, runs of issues. He was the first, like, Spanish hero to hit mainstream. Like, he was in, like, the Luke Cage era.
Oh.
So he's a huge thing as far as, like, representation in the 70s. And she is the White Tiger if you ask anyone that reads comics 90s or newer.
Okay.
So he was a character I never thought we'd see translated. I love that they gave him basically a character that was about the man, and then the side of White Tiger what he represents. Because to be honest, them doing like a screen accurate costume really only works in small doses because of how it is very lavish and very extravagant. But like they made it so the human was the character, and we got to mourn. The importance of that character in the comic books, and it's also so tragic that the actor passed away before you got to see his work. But it was really. I don't know. It feels cool to honor that importance of an impactful character, but with the niece being mentioned, hopefully carrying the mantle.
Yeah, and I think that he did a great job as well. The actor, like, even though he had 2 episodes, but he killed it. But I do hope that we get to see that kind of come to fruition with the loss of White Tiger, a new one arises. Plus, Matt seeing that this doesn't work, not to the degree he would have liked for it to give him a reason to come back as Daredevil to honor White Tiger and try to do.
Mm-hmm.
Man. I like that they just let us sit with this.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
But they kept on that sound the whole time, too. That was great.
Man. Wow. Well, all right, you guys, we just watched episode 3 of Daredevil Born Again. We want to thank the guys over at Prepper for cutting down these highlights. You guys can watch them over here on YouTube. All right. Man, what a sad, really strong episode.
Yeah.
How are we feeling? Let's start with Andrew, and then we'll go across.
This might have been my favorite episode thus far. It was incredible. I'm feeling 2 ways. I'm feeling like joyful, like because it was such a great episode. Also sad because I really got invested in the character. I liked White Tiger a lot in this episode, and the way I just love also too. Matt is, we talk about the how 2 sides of the same coin with Matt and Wilson. They're both always playing 4D chess. Like I really love the way Matt strategizes as a lawyer. The way he's just so nuanced in a courtroom, and I was hoping for more of that. And obviously, we got some of that in the first 3 seasons, but like that whole entire sequence that we got, and just within the episode, that's what I love about Matt Murdock in the court. Like I just love seeing him go to work in the courtroom. That's like some of my favorite stuff to see. And that was great. Like, I think it was Greg who mentioned it. Like, it really felt Law and Order-esque, with Daredevil. I know we haven't really watched him in the costume yet, but even if we didn't watch him in the costume, we were just watching stuff like this. Like, this is really suspenseful. This is, like, it's really moving stuff. And I really, really enjoyed this episode. I thought the pacing was great. I thought the stuff between Wilson and Vanessa, I really love, seeing just how vulnerable and, again, just... He's really worried about possibly losing her. The stuff again in therapy with Heather is fascinating as well. I'm curious to see what's going to come about of that. But yeah, no, I got a lot more stuff. I'll let you guys carry on. But again, I think it was my favorite episode.
Okay, Greg, how you doing?
Yeah, I would agree with Andrew. I think this is my favorite episode. I would say this is my favorite episode of the season so far. Might not be like the most exhilarating one in terms of action or even like directing, but I mean, on the bias side in me, this feels closest to the original series out of the 3 episodes, I would say. And I think the direction of this was really strong, and I like the writing a lot in this one as well. Like someone in the comments, I don't know who, I was like, I wouldn't say the writing's less than, I think it's just more efficient, is how someone put it. And I was like, yeah, I know, I get it. It's like it's tighter. Like what they're setting out to do with this show is, I mean, if you look at the original series, it's a streaming show where they release it all at once. So they're able to really simmer in scene work, but they're also telling something that people are going to watch in one night.
True.
So you can really, where this, you have to take a little bit more of like a cinematic approach because you're doing a weekly release, and you got to keep it a little bit tighter and more engaged. So I understand the concept behind it, and I feel like with the way they've had to draw their diagram for how they're going to make an episode, I think this is the one that worked like the best. I do agree with everyone here that like the lawyer scenes. I like Punisher and I like Daredevil season 2 a lot. Out of the 3, that tends to be the one that gets a lot of crap. I like that one a lot, and I love the Punisher lawyer stuff as well. And I think the way they handled a trial, some stuff in this season does seem like it goes a little bit quick. When you pull back a little bit, you go, well, actually,
trial's already done. Episode 3.
Oh, right. He's already mayor. Oh, trial's already done. So sometimes it does go a little bit quick, but because this is taking more of what I feel is like a movie approach, they do have to tighten it. They do have to make it move a little bit quicker, and the impact of it, like what we were saying during the credits, I do feel is really resonant to it. Like it sucks to see what happened to White Tiger at the very end. After being let go, it sucks, but it is working it's going to work as a driving force, as a thing to catapult whatever this inevitable showdown clash is going to be with Kingpin and Matt Murdock. So I like seeing clear of where it's going. I think the scene does work better than it did in the last episode. I felt like in the last episode, some of the scenes would rely a little too much on like, let's use a bunch of camera work and music to tell the audience what to think and feel during the scene. And I feel like there's a lot here that they would bring in the music later, or when it felt more calculated and appropriate when they would bring in the music. So I think this is more emotional as a journey. Like this had more heart in it, and the conversation they do with vigilantism, which is a conversation I'm surprised we're having so late in the game in the MCU, but to do it with the street level, to open up that door of like, here's what Wilson Fisk wants to do, and then to really bring it to the courts, to have the argument about it. It's like, thank you. This is like the debate that Daredevil show does well. So they brought us the debate. I don't know what happened to the guy who fell on his neck. Like, what, did they ever?
He might be dead.
Would they ever explain that?
No, he's got a black eye.
Was he the one who fell on his neck?
Wait, are you talking about the cop?
No, the cop that we saw fell on his neck. The bald cop, he got his head slammed against the table.
So the cop the guy who was on trial, he's the one who slammed on his neck.
Yeah,
correct. Yes.
So
he said she had a neck brace.
Yeah,
he's just a black guy.
He's just a black guy.
It's a little ridiculous. I gotta say that some of if you're gonna separate your superheroes and stuff in anatomy, it's like Bullseye falling off just because he got like a fixed spine. Don't know how he would survive that. He's just a person. But he's got to be a little enhanced, right? Because he's got like this super whatever. But I don't know how this cop is just like, all right, yep, he's got a little bit of a bruise,
not limping.
So whatever, letting it go. He didn't kill, so that alleviates everything I was worried about with if they were dead. The show really sold me on that. And based off of what I saw online, I feel like the directors and the creators wanted you to wonder whether or not he killed him.
Oh, of course.
The show does. I feel like if you were binging this, the show doesn't treat it like that.
But the binge model, it takes a lot away. A lot of people were like, this should have been a binge show. I was like, no, it would not be the show.
Yeah, but on a weekly basis, I think they want you to kind of wonder if he killed them. But then it shows up and it's like, oh, okay, he's just fine. But I still, I feel like it does improve upon some shortcomings that I was finding, some very minor shortcomings I was finding. And overall, I feel like it made for a damn good episode of television. And it's like, Charlie Cox is so good in this.
Seriously. Coy?
So I'm so happy this is street level. This is what I've been waiting for since 2008. I thought, and Greg just said it, like I'm shocked it took this long. I thought there'd be something leading up to Civil War when they announced Civil War in one of their phase announcements that would feel like this. I thought you had to. That said, I thought they did a great job in Civil War bringing the stakes and having that conflict. But I think this is a great opportunity to have what the Sokovia Accord started actually fleshed out. The Registration Act can actually now feel like the comic books. The beauty of the MCU is that there's a different tier system than like, you know, most shared universes, but I feel like we've only just kind of done the upper stuff, like the big powerful stuff. There's so much more to explore. You hear people all the time wanting a street level Spider-Man. It's for stuff like this. The reason we love our red heroes, our Spider-Man, our Deadpool, our Daredevil is, yeah, Deadpool's got all his powers and stuff, but he does them in like fairly day-to-day environment. Like Deadpool of the X-Men is somehow the most relatable because he's like, you know, street level a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. He did marry a demon. There's a lot of stuff going on there. But Daredevil, to me, is as interesting as Matt Murdock as he is as Daredevil. That's one of the reasons he's one of my favorite characters. I'm just as fascinated by Peter Parker as I am as Spider-Man. I'm just as fascinated by Miles Morales as I am Spider-Man. Bruce Wayne is Batman. And that's when a character is so good, you can really care about both of them. The fact that 2/3 of our episodes so far have not had a suit for Daredevil. The fact that we are 3 episodes in, and I haven't rewatched the first 2. I'm the only one that hasn't had a chance to rewatch. But for me, this is as good as the first episode from my one watch of it, which is very high praise because if you watched any of the stuff here or on my page, I'm ranting and raving of, oh my God, how is this back? Nipple chills. That's why I wore this shirt. I was elated. So when I say this is as good as episode 1 for me, that is the highest possible praise because I was part of Save Daredevil 7 years ago. I was freaking out wanting this show back. I was starting my career with this show, and then there was about a 3-year window where I was like, okay, but what if it comes back and it ruins my feelings towards it? And then like as this show got closer, then it was like, well, we scrapped an entire version of it. I was like, oh, this sounds scary. And like there was that window of where what if it comes back and it's not what you dreamed of? Will I be able to separate Born Again from the Netflix show? Like, because I'll always have a mix of those memories. Once I get my eyes on this, will I enjoy it enough that it won't sully the near perfection I feel for Netflix? What I love about what this is doing is it's going deeper. It is exploring conversations the MCU has needed to explore for 15 years. It is exploring Daredevil in new ways, and that's what you want to do, not just doubling down on the stuff Netflix did. And yes, I personally like that it feels like a new creative team on a book. A lot of people were saying like, oh, well, don't compare it to Netflix, blah, blah, blah. I think in some ways it's bad too. I think in some ways it's great too. Just like in comic books. I will always read a character and think of my favorite runs because that's why I love that character. If you compare it in a way that makes you buried under the weight of expectation, absolutely you're going to suffer for it. But if you compare it in a way that like, oh my God, what was it like reading that for the first time? What's it like to read this for the first time? Then you get joy twice. So I, as someone who enjoys art evolving and modifying and being for different audiences, I personally am really enjoying that this show doesn't feel just like Netflix. It feels like volume 4 of a show that had a volume 1 through 3. It feels like a new exploration. So this episode not only narratively did stuff I've been waiting for forever, it also stylistically feels like a different team in a way that I'm really enjoying because you cannot like hope for. I think if it was trying too hard to be the Netflix show, it would feel cheap. It would feel like, why are we just doing the same? Like, well, it's been 7 years. I personally, I feel like an artist has released a new album with a new sound, and a lot of people are adjusting to it poorly, according to the internet. But I'm loving this experience, and I hope people come around to the tone or whatever it is that they aren't appreciating. I hope. All I want is for people to enjoy it as much as I am. So I'm hoping that like as the show goes on, there's less of the initial like different, and it can be enjoyed because I'm loving this.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with everything you guys have said. I'm really enjoying this new take in this volume 4, what we're known and accustomed to experiencing with the other show. And I have to also agree. I don't think this is my favorite one. This is my second favorite one behind the second episode. But I think the thing that this show is doing that's really interesting is that it's allowing, in its pace of only having 9 episodes, each episode to stand as its own sort of experience but it's building towards something. Like, you know, this entire episode was about the trial. The last one was about White Tiger having to be on trial in the first place and Matt having to represent a vigilante. And just the entirety of this one felt like a mini movie. And I'd say that I said it during the reaction that this entire thing felt like the best courtroom stuff we've gotten from Daredevil, because we have scenes where he's actually in the courtroom giving these things to the witnesses and laying out his case. And same thing with the people that he's going against. And you got some of that in Daredevil, but I feel like a lot of this Frank Castle stuff was more Foggy and Karen based. True. And Daredevil was the one that introduced that conflict, but he wasn't really there to address it. That was the whole riff of that season, which I think stands equally with the other two seasons. Now, I like that we are exploring a different side of Matt in relation to these new characters. And I've seen people online be like, oh, why? Well, if you're just going to have another lawyer and you're going to have another investigator, why not just keep Karen and Foggy? And to that, I say, sure that they have the same roles, but they play in a different way. Like Cherry has the advantage of being a cop, which means he has access to things and views it and investigates in a different way than Karen would have. We don't really know McDuffie too well, other than the fact that, she's kind of cheeky and funny and has this different sort of a dynamic with Matt. And I'm curious to know more about her. But the way that this show is able to have these poignant moments that are based in character, but also be concise with its timing, I think is really great and really strong. It's something that Penguin was very successful as well. And I feel that though the original series I love, I think you feel in the third season a little bit of a slower pace, a little bit of a slower burn, because you have these conversations that are very rich. But I feel like there's this balance between richness and intrigue in its plot that this show does a really great job of balancing. Because that entire court case was about that whole situation of people wanting a vigilante. You actually get to see the city have a perspective, have a voice through the BB report, through this court case, and get to see how the city is responding to all the events going on. Something that we really didn't have too much of in the Daredevil original series. And I like that we're able to live in that place now. It's something we've been missing from the MCU. I want to see how people respond to the blip. I want to see how people respond to aliens coming down from the sky, or even beyond that, or just on the ground. How do they respond to the White Tiger saving them in their day-to-day? How do they feel about Fisk? I love that we're able to do that and watch the temperature raise as the course of the series goes on.
You just saying that just made me realize we're going to see what the people think of the Registration Act in real time, and we're also going to see what the people think of Punisher coming back in real time.
Yeah, because I think he's retired
really
at this point.
Excited for that.
And the cops were now getting more emboldened with the fact that they're
that's
doing
a
the
cop
Punisher
wearing
stuff.
a Punisher vest.
Yeah, and
do you guys think
imitating life.
Do you think it was that cop? I mean, it doesn't
I think
really
it's
matter
a
who it
cop.
was. Yeah. But to really quickly respond to you, because I agreed with all your points. You know what Karen has that Cherry doesn't have? She's got heels.
Oh,
You know? I know you understood that. But yeah, no, I agree with everything you just said, and I think that's why this was my favorite courtroom scene, because in season 2 I loved all that stuff. But you made a great point. We got to see Foggy stretch out his legs in terms of with the courtroom stuff, because Matt was so busy with all the Elektra stuff he wasn't able to be there, which obviously caused a rift in their relationship between Foggy and Matt. So that's why this made me so happy to see, yes, finally Matt getting to do the lawyer stuff. But also, no, go ahead.
I also kind of like that it's adjusting, because I love Foggy, Karen, and Matt, because like I'm a comic guy and also the first show. But I kind of like the alien disorientation that he's going through while he's not Matt. While he's not Daredevil, all he is Matt Murdock, lawyer. So while Matt Murdock, lawyer, isn't Daredevil, it's interesting to see him as just a lawyer with a new team. There's a different sense of when you move into a new house, or like when you make a big life change and you have a different circle of people, there's a different energy to you. And I'm getting that from Charlie Cox as just Matt Murdock, lawyer, and how he's going to be relating to the courtroom and stuff. So as much as I miss them, and I do, there is a different strength in the visual of a different team behind the desk.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
And also to your point too, you're saying you want to see also the how everyone reacts to the consequences of events. I thought we saw a little bit of that too in season 1 because the battle in New York from the Avengers, we saw that Wilson Fisk was taking advantage of all the real estate in New York from all that. So we did get a little bit of a taste of that. But
you hear about it, but you don't see it.
No, you don't see it. I agree with. I said we got a little bit of a taste of that, but so I agree. But now we're actually getting to see it here in real time, and also I liked actually seeing the visual narration of some of the cops, like. He was naming some of the cops, and then we got to see the visceral reaction from some of them. Oh, hey, this guy actually saved my life. I would not be here standing opposed to this man if he had not saved my life. I actually thought that really hit me hard in that moment. No. Also, I was thinking, too, when those cops were all sitting there, I know there's a lot of cops on duty, but there's also a lot of cops sitting there. There's a lot of crime happening because they're all sitting in the courtroom. Just saying. Just saying.
The moments in Netflix that I love is when it feels real, but like surreal. And this episode felt like the elements of Netflix's show that I was like, oh man, what if the Marvel Universe was real? That's what I always got out of the Netflix stuff, even more than the MCU. And this feels like a blend of the MCU and that Netflix element in a really special way. And that's what I wanted this show to be, is kind of a pathway between those worlds. And so far I'm in.
No, yeah, I'm super in. Greg, you have more thoughts? He's been cooking over there.
Oh yeah, no. I think we haven't talked about Wilson and Vanessa. What they're doing with them. I have seen some stuff online. I know we keep bringing up online. It's just, that's what we do. We're online. We're an online company, so we see the online responses.
People aren't watching this,
whether it be YouTube comments or Twitter. There's online responses, right? And I know there's even online responses to what I'm saying, being like, "Stop listening to the internet," as internet tells me to stop listening to internet. But that's the reality. I've seen some people talk about the Wilson and Vanessa stuff, and that challenge has been one of my favorite things that they're doing here, because it is the most unexpected thing to me that they would possibly introduce a riff between them. One where it's like, is this guy gonna kill his wife? Because she owns it. Like, he literally said to her, like, don't turn to someone like I said literally, and I can't literally quote it. Don't turn into someone I can't trust, or something like that. Yeah. Like, that is a threat that he just laid
and
out.
She adjusted accordingly. Like, yes. I love her body language to the threat.
And at the end of the day, while he's been gone, she's been running Kingpin Empire. And now he shows up late in the game to be like, well, let me tell you how to run this house.
And neither of them were wearing white in this episode.
Neither of them wearing white.
Neither of them were Kingpin in this episode. And she was in the white suit in that first episode, and it was so striking.
Yes. So I love what they're doing with them, like, have the conversation they're having before the therapist walks in is the conversation they should be having with the therapist, but they can't have that conversation because of the legal boundaries.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really strong element that challenges the romanticism that is leveled with with Wilson. It's like Wilson and Vanessa, like that is they're known as like the couple that just has the undying love and support for each other, and to completely challenge that in a way where I'm like, I don't know where it's going to land between them, but I like what they're doing here, because they never really got a chance to be husband and wife. The second they got married, he was shipped off to prison. Yeah. Somehow Wilson got out of prison. I don't know how he got out of prison, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like he spent much time with his wife after he got out of prison. He just was like, I'm going to start up this Trust the
Bro. The Tracksuit Mafia.
Tracksuit Mafia, yeah. The Tracksuit Mafia gang. And then he was like, I'm going to go reconnect with my niece or whatever she is to me. So, yeah, like having that quality, I think, is really strong. But also the mastermind plan, because the big thing introduced in episode 2, the cops will not back Wilson Fisk. That's the big thing. And now he can use this
to get on the cops' side.
To get the cops on his side.
Because we introduced the idea of vigilante versus cop, like you said.
And they use, and I think wearing the Punisher outfit as we're talking is intentional to make it look like the Punisher murdered.
A vigilante killed another vigilante, now it's...
Yeah, not Cult of Punisher, but like Punisher. But also, we shouldn't celebrate a vigilante who killed a cop.
Right.
And so this is a clever plan from him. So I love that it ends on the court case and they just do that pullback shot to show he's watching. You're like, oh, shit. I love characters in movies and shows when they're watching TV. There's always something going down that's badass. Whenever you think Christian Bale, when he's watching Heath Ledger with the, with the one guy. Think Chris Evans in Civil War when they're watching the like. I love it. And I thought that was a really great use of it. So I think what they're building up and setting up for Kingpin and Matt and Kingpin and Vanessa is truly compelling stuff. And then now we got Muse to come into the fold in some. Well, I think it was the guy in episode 2 who wanted the therapy.
I also love that Muse in the comics has a whole dynamic about like the arts and how he perceives the city and making beauty out of horrible things. And the Muse of the city is also very similar to Fisk and Murdock. Like the way that Wilson Fisk sees the city as his and Matt Murdock sees the city as his is what I love about the first 3 seasons. Muse is interesting because he sees all of this trauma as like an art inspiration, but the city feels like his as well. So bringing in a third party that's even crazier than the two of them and doing it seemingly in a way that relates to the girl that Matt is seeing, one, I doubt she makes it through the season. But 2, is going to be really interesting to see a dynamic of like what brings Matt back into the fold and how Muse manipulates all of this.
Yeah. Do we know? Obviously don't want to know his name, but do we know his identity in the comics, Muse?
It gets discovered. Like it isn't like right away, but like it's
Robert
uncovered.
Downey Jr.
Yeah.
He's just going to be everyone in the MCU.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But Greg, I think Greg, you mentioned too that things kind of unfold rather quickly. Like Wilson Fisk becomes the mayor pretty quickly. The trial happens pretty quickly in the episode. I remember too Wilson Fisk. I think it was episode 2 where he mentioned that BB Urich. She should not be underestimated, and we will use that. That literally comes back right away in this episode. So I do like that things come back really quickly. I think that also Will is going to be his undoing because if she is half the reporter her uncle was, like she's going to figure things out, and because
and he's
she's
better than the Lions did.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad they answered to what happened to her cell phone.
Also, you said something in the reaction. You said that Cherry was more Urich. Can you like elaborate on that?
So the way Cherry is doing the investigative reporting felt like that first season of Urich where he was willing to push boundaries that like Matt wasn't. Like to me, Urich was always like a reporter that would do anything. He had his code of ethics just like Matt did, and like, but he was still willing to do a little bit more than Matt because Matt was always like Jesus boy. So to me, Cherry like bringing drugs and like it felt more investigative reporter to me than cop, and the way he was playing it out felt like if Urich hadn't died in season 1, I could see that being what Yuri was doing in the storyline. Do you know what I mean? Like when I was seeing that character make his moves, now that it's also blending the comic books, because in the comic books, Urich is a huge, like he's one of the biggest characters at the Daily Bugle. Like Urich is like, Urich is it's like Jonah Jameson, Robbie Robertson, Urich, and in Ultimate Spider-Man, regular Spider-Man, Daredevil, like all of the MCU, if Urich pops up, you're like, this is a big deal. So like, I don't know if I'm thinking of just Urich from the Daredevil show or if I'm blending it with my head. But when I see the actions he's making, my brain is thinking of the comic character, and I'm like, that's what I would cast him as. So that was the thought.
Watch,
like,
they're going to bring back Joe Pantale and
Joey Pants.
Yeah.
Joey Pants from the Ben Affleck.
To clarify, even though I know there's already people typing away because you're dumbasses, when we say it moves quickly. The other caveat, the other aspect to it moving quickly of why it actually works moving quickly is because of the thing we kept pointing out, which is there's inspiration from Nolan in the terms of the editing and the music and the overall camera work. Nolan's movies span a lot of time. Nolan's movies, and it's because of the way he knows how to do that and get away with it because and successfully and immersively because of the way those movies are captured.
For sure.
And I think taking inspiration from Nolan for direction, which I'd be so surprised if they didn't.
No,
Daredevil is the Marvel Batman.
Yeah, so
it did feel Nolan-esque.
With this show, I think when they are spanning quickly, it doesn't feel like they're rushing.
Yeah.
Like when he became mayor at the end of the first episode, I wasn't like, I know you said in the review that you thought it would span the season, and I was like, oh yeah, I did think it too, but it didn't bother me when it happened.
Yeah, wasn't a negative.
And
Just
same,
a lot.
And same thing with the trial. I was like, I didn't notice it. It was like, oh, we did a whole trial in one episode until we were talking about it.
Yeah.
But it works because of how the show is because of the new way these creatives are approaching how to capture this story. It's working.
And I think we've become accustomed to that slower pace from the original series. So for them to change it up is refreshing. I don't mind it at all.
Also, 7 years later, societally, we just have no attention span.
Yeah, it's made for TikTok brains.
True.
Yeah, dude.
True. I also think this episode did a great job of being very suspenseful because my heart was racing quite a few times.
The middle of the episode, I was like,
when they were transferring Nikki Torres, I believe his name is. Like I thought, we had just rewatched season 3 with Ray Nadeem, and I'm glad you guys said they've learned from that. Just that whole sequence. Also, too, it wasn't predictable. Like you just mentioned, you didn't expect him to be mayor right away, so that worked in its favor. And then also, too, I really had no idea which way the case was going.
I love
because the DA, he made a great argument as well. I'm like, I love writing like that. When I'm like, holy crap, Matt Murdock doesn't just have good adversaries when he's Daredevil. He's got good adversaries when he's a lawyer. This is the writing I love. I gravitate towards this shit.
I thought this was the best written one of the 3 for sure.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for 4 now.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to touch a little bit on the Vanessa stuff before we wrap it up. I also thought that stuff was great because it's interesting. The last show ended with Vanessa finally coming into the fold and her being the reason Fisk got taken down in the first place because she ordered the murder of Ray Nadeem, right? And now we're in a position where she's grown resentful for Fisk for leaving because he's the man who put her in the position in the first place. She's now loving the power, and he's trying to take it away from her, even though he's the person who put her there in the first place.
I like that.
And I love the fact that she now feels resentful, not only for that, but because he feels like he's punishing her for cheating. And it's just all sorts of sad, man. I'm finding it interesting that Wilson Fisk, he feels like the same Wilson Fisk from the previous show, but with a little bit more patience, a little bit more maturity. I kind of texted each of you individually how that experience from Echo really messed with his head because she's like, oh, you healed me, Maya. Or like at least tried to. Yeah. And it seems like ultimately that event led to where he is now, causing that rift in their relationship. And I'm curious to see how it plays into what's going on.
Yeah, and last thing for me, I'm glad you texted me that because I will be honest, I hadn't watched Echo, so I was a little confused and I know he went to jail at the end of season 3, but still I was like, wait, why is he acting like this right now? And then when he sent me that, says like, okay, this makes a lot more sense. So thank you very much for sending me that. So yeah,
shared universe.
Yes,
sometimes there's little pieces.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, well. All right, guys, that's going to be it for episode 3 for us. We had a great time. We loved it, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Deuces.
Flev. Dude, I've been using my heightened senses, my heightened Daredevil senses, and I can tell a lot about you. I can tell as I'm talking about you right now, your heartbeat is moving fast. Oh, are you lying? No, he's just getting turned on by the fact that I've said his name. Ooh, as I zero in more, I can smell the sweat exuding from your pores. Oh yeah, this guy's ready for some hot, sweaty action. Oh, I can hear the breath, every little heavier. But he's trying to control. He's not trying to let it out. He's like, breathe through your nose, but he can't because he knows it's too good to be true. And then as I get closer, I realize the man's having a heart attack. And I totally mistook this because I can be a little narcissistic sometimes. And I really thought that it's happened to me more than once where someone is having some type of fatal condition and I'm taking it as like, please, I'm not in the mood right now. I'm taken. And I thought that's what was happening here. Clearly, I was wrong. And I'm sorry. I think I've spent way too much time explaining this because I don't want to look like the bad guy. And now I'm seeing you're not breathing at all. My Daredevil skills are picking up that your lifeline is going down quite a bit. And I'm still explaining this to you because I think some people might be around. And in case they can hear, I want them to know I'm taking accountability. And that I realize the errors of my way. I'm sure with just a good like slam to the chest, I can bring him back to life, right? Let's go. I broke his chest.
Just shattered your sternum.
I am so sorry.
Sent your
I have
xiphoid
made
process
it
into your heart.
extremely worse.
That's what the devil would do.
Sometimes we walk into the kitchen of hell.
You get beaten to a pulp.
You brought this on yourself.
Yeah, Flev.